Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Beyond Uncut. Today, I have some breaking news for you coming out of the Caribbean region. The Caribbean community, better known as CARICOM, which is a group of over 20 countries in the Caribbean area, has come together. However, they are split in the US military operations that is currently going on in the southern Caribbean, right next to Venezuela. Remember, some weeks ago, a boat that the US said was carrying drugs was sunk to the bottom of the ocean by a US military attack. And that ship had on 11 persons, and all of them, the US said, were killed. Trinidad and Tobago came out and they agreed with it. However, the rest Caribbean nations does not support the US intervention in the Caribbean. And I have the story for you today. So in this video, we will let you know exactly which countries are for the US intervention and those that are against. And this is breaking news, my friends, because I can't remember in any recent history that the United States of America sent up to 8 warships off the coast of the southern Caribbean, nuclear submarines, and several hundreds marine military personnel with overwhelmingly military equipment on the ships, and helicopters were seen flying from Puerto Rico down towards the southern Caribbean. So the US military buildup in the area is massive, and the Caribbean nations are speaking out against this military operation. Only Trinidad and Tobago have said that they condemn the operations, and I will let you know what is happening. CARICOM has not yet issued a joint position, leaving the bloc divided over the US involvements. They have not yet released a joint statement. However, several countries would have made statements, and let me read for you what this story is saying. Antigua and Barbuda, let me get it, just came off here. Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines opposed to the deployment of the US military operations. Outside CARICOM, Argentina, the Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Paraguay, Peru, Panama, Costa Rica aligned with Trinidad and Tobago's stance. So these are all South American countries that agree with Trinidad and Tobago's stance in support of the United States of America. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio highlighted Washington's focus on drug trafficking and organized crime during a visit to Ecuador. Trinidad and Tobago's Foreign Minister Sean Sobers said the country could not support such a statement, arguing that U.S. assistance against transnational crime strengthened rather than destabilizes its security. Any right-thinking person, this is what he's saying, and I quote, any right-thinking person would want to welcome that level of intervention, which means they welcome the U.S. intervention and they support this military operation that the United States is having in the southern Caribbean. At an emergency select meeting on Thursday, Trinidad and Tobago was the only CARICOM member to back the deployment of US warships, submarines, and troops, while other members sought to condemn it. Several Caribbean nations, along with ALBA members, described the buildup as, and I quote, a new demonstration of imperial force, warning it could threaten regional stability. So there you had it, my friends. Several South American countries that I named agree with Trinidad and Tobago, which is in support of the US military intervention in the Southern Caribbean. However, all other CARICOM member states, Jamaica, Guyana, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Haiti, all condemn the US military intervention in the area because they are saying that the CARICOM was not consulted and the US is operating in CARICOM waters illegally, because normally when you have such a military operation, you will notify the government of those regions that you will be having such a military operation in the area. So the United States knows what it's going to do. CARICOM have no idea what the US is planning. Obviously, they're planning an overthrow of the president of Venezuela, Maduro. They would have put a $50 million bounty on his head and say they would pay anybody $50 million, anybody who can capture him and present him to the United States of America. Now, this is a head of state that the United States is paying anybody to capture. How crazy is that? My friends, let me know what you think about this video. And Trinidad and Tobago is right next to Venezuela. Obviously, they are not close friends because Trinidad and Tobago trade a lot of oil. Venezuela trade a lot of oil as well. So maybe they see themselves as competition. So, of course, if sanctions are placed on Venezuela oil, Trinidad and Tobago will benefit. And Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the whole world. This is why the United States of America sees Venezuela as a critical mineral resource asset for the United States. This is why they would have sent up to 8 warships down in the area. Not that they so care about democracy. They don't care nothing about that. It's all about money, my friends. Money. Follow the money and you will find where the plan is. That is why the United States of America wants to overthrow the president Maduro, because Maduro is more aligned with Cuba, Russia, and China. And America sees this as a threat to its superpower in the region. So they want to take out Maduro and install their own puppet government in Venezuela so that they can get oil at very little to nothing, so that they can use the Venezuelan oil to boost the American economy, making American companies billions of dollars. That is how America makes money, my friends. They shake down leaders, shake down countries, military intervention. America has, I think, the largest gold reserves in the world. They have gold underground, in underground chambers. Where did they get all that gold from? When they invaded Iraq, you would have seen pictures and videos when the American military found gold, diamonds, jewelry. They just took them and they shipped them out of Iraq back to America. when they invaded Libya and overthrew Gaddafi, the gold and minerals that they found, they just took them and shipped them back to America. That is how America builds wealth, my friends. They're following from their colonial cousins or brothers or sisters, the UK and Europe. America is following in their footsteps. That is how America is so wealthy. That is how Europe is so wealthy. They're brutal, my friends, in world affairs. It's all about money. That is capitalist society. All about money. They could care less about humanity or any country or anything like that. It's all about making money and building wealth. So if you're watching for the first time on this channel, I normally react to breaking news that affect the African continent and the African diaspora. So make sure to subscribe today, like this video, share it with all your friends and family, and comment your thoughts and opinion. Let me know what you think about this topic today of CARICOM nations being split over the United States of America military operations in the Southern Caribbean. You can join my channel and become a channel member. The link is in this description box. I will leave a link in the comment section as well and pin it to the comment section. I also have a travel channel. I will leave the link in the description box as well, and in the comment section you can go on over and subscribe to my travel channel. But make sure to subscribe to this channel first, because this is my main channel where I react to breaking news. So comment your thoughts and opinion. Let's have a wonderful interactive conversation. My name is Beyond. This is Beyond Uncut, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. Much love and bye-bye.